All right. So first up, we've got Andrew from Florida. What's up there, Andrew? How you doing?
What's up, heathen? How y'all doing?
What's up, heathen? Although I don't think you're a heathen, you're a theist, so you may not be a heathen. But how you doing there, Andrew?
Awesome. Happy Monday to all of you.
That's good to have you, Andrew.
Likewise. Yeah, I've seen you on TikTok, Justin. I just think you take faith too literally. Like we're all on a journey, and we're all three of us are seeking ultimate reality, whether it be through atheism or theism. Even when faith is disproven, I believe our intuition teaches us that true faith requires us to hold on to our beliefs, even when science and logic have falsified it.
Would you apply that to? Would you apply that to Islam? Or do you only apply that to your own particular religion?
No, all religions.
Okay, so
even Islam
you're a Christian,
has a
right?
mystical tradition called Sufism.
Yeah, but you're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
Do you have faith in Vishnu and Brahma?
I think they're talking about the same thing. Yeah.
You think Vishnu and Brahma are the same thing as Yahweh and Jesus?
Yeah, like they're both like different depictions of what we call ultimate reality.
I guess citation needed. Well, where can I find the information that says that the Hindu deity? You know, there's like thousands of them, right?
I know. What they're calling deities, Christians call them angels, and the Muslim faith calls them something different. So they're probably just metaphysical truths that you can see throughout.
Andrew, in my experience, like Christianity is a very like exclusionary sort of faith. Like everybody can become Christian, obviously, but like it's not like you can believe in a different God and get into heaven, right? Or what's your particular theology here? Because it seems like your particular theology might contradict with what we've always understood about Christianity.
Yeah, it's not very orthodox. I believe that Jesus had a mystical experience at his death, and the disciples also shared in that resurrection experience, but we're limited by our language of what to call it. So it might not have been a literal resurrection, but I believe there was a transcendence to God.
So Jesus wasn't literally resurrected?
Yeah, I don't think he was resurrected in a literal sense. Like even Paul calls it a spiritual body, but Paul had a real visionary experience. So he had a taste of this transcendence. And so this is shared among
all this just
religions.
Seems ad hoc to me. Andrew, all this seems very ad hoc to me. Like you're just, without justification, you're just changing the Christian theology in order to make it to where you can understand it or you can believe in it. And that just is not going to resonate with me.
Yeah, and didn't Jesus say that no one comes to the Father except through him? So, like, if you've never heard of Jesus and you just believe in the Hindu religion, are you saying that they're going to go to the Christian heaven?
Yeah, whatever heaven is.
So then
I believe
nobody goes to hell.
Jesus. No, that's
so the Bible's not true.
Really, those are not in a literal sense. Those are like literal depictions of judgment. But I mean, that's again.
So what sends somebody to hell? Andrew, what sends somebody to hell in your opinion?
No, I don't think hell is a literal place. Like there's nothing in the center of the earth, so it's not really. It's not really a good way to put it.
I mean, most Christians don't think of hell as a literal place.
Language. Right. It's just archaic language to describe like evil. Like it's just the way we describe like judgment for evil.
Well, according to Jewish tradition and Christian tradition, hell is a very real place that the sinners and the non-believers go to, according to Revelation 21, verse 8.
Yeah, I know. I used to believe that, but like,
I want to make sure I understand what you're telling me. You're telling me that the Bible's not true. The religion that you're following is something that you've constructed for yourself, and what's actually in the Bible isn't actually reality?
It portrays, not in a literal sense, but it portrays an ultimate reality. They're just limited in their language. So it's just not literally true in a factual sense, because like even the depictions of the afterlife do contradict each other. Like it says nothing happens, and then it says extermination, and then it says like torment. So they can't really fully describe what happens in the afterlife. But we do have mystical experiences throughout the centuries. We have these experiences that cannot be explained.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that like there's contradictory passages in the Bible, and therefore, rather than just saying that this thing is fiction, you're just making up your own thing that correlates the parts of the Bible that you like. But I mean, Jesus quite literally said that don't fear the one that could harm your body, but the one that could throw your soul into hell. Right? Matthew. So I think in Matthew 5 it says, "If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out, throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to be thrown into hell." That's sounds pretty literal to me.
Yeah,
Your physical
literal.
body.
I know that's what they believe. Yeah. No,
So you've got a revelation that's higher than the scripture.
No, I read different revelations from different people. So we have to try to put them together. But all science is ad hoc rationalization. Like it's constantly correcting itself, and that's what religion does. It's correcting itself, just like science and mathematics. When you get something wrong, you re-explain it, and that's what we're doing with religion. We're looking at it after the fact.
So what parts of the Bible are true and what parts are not true?
Well, for sure, the things that we can verify are literally true, like historically. I think we can prove historically there was a Jesus, but those metaphysical beliefs, we can't really prove them, right? Yeah.
I mean, we might have some suggestion that he existed, but we don't really know much about him. Like the writings about him from the Talmud, like if you read Sanhedrin 43a, the details that we get of Jesus is quite different than what we get in the Bible. So, like, if he was a real person, we can't really say that we know anything about him because the details we have are contradictory.
That's true. But it's very obvious that even after his death, that his followers had these mystical experiences. And that was convincing to enough people to create a religion out of it. So that is enough to say, okay, they had a very similar experience to the Islamic Sufis.
Andrew, listen, if somebody just merely believes something, does that make it true?
No.
Sure. Okay, then why are you accepting people merely believing in something as being a representative of truth?
Not merely believing it, but they also had these mystical experiences that they journal, and
they merely believe they had mystical experiences, and they believe that was a true representation of reality. I feel like I'm not saying anything different here.
Okay, you're saying they believe they had an experience. I'm saying they had an experience that showed them their beliefs. You're saying they didn't actually have an experience; they just believed it. I'm saying they had an experience.
I believe that they had an experience. No, I believe that they had an experience, but whether or not that experience represents like reality is a different question.
Right.
Why are you accepting? Hold on. Let me ask you this: Why are you accepting what seems to be crazy people claiming that they had an experience with a ghost or with some kind of celestial being, and saying, "Oh, look, they had this experience, therefore it's true"? Do you understand how that's kind of a far-fetched for us?
Yeah, if you word it that way, I don't think that's the way I'm wording it.
But it's also true that like you're suggesting that these things happened, And the reason why you think that these things happened is because the Bible tells you so. But you've already told us that you don't actually believe what's in the Bible is actually literally true. So you're trying to eat your cake and have it too,
Not all
right?
of it.
So the parts that you like are true, and the parts that you don't like are not true. So then how could you validate that the disciples had any of these experiences when the source for the experience is in question?
Yeah, you're talking about validation. It sounds very empirical. I just don't believe knowledge can be limited to that which we can empirically verify. That's part of knowledge, but there's more to it. We have intuition, like we have moral intuitions that cannot be proven by science. So I take that and I read and I redefine. I try to interpret what's happening with these religious groups, because to say that they're just making it up seems overly simplistic. And it's not
can I
just
jump in with a
one
question?
religion.
Maybe it is simplistic.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I
Justin.
think it is simplistic. Are you familiar with healing in the Greco-Roman culture around the time of Jesus?
I've heard some of it from Luke Timothy Johnson in his lectures.
Yeah. So scattered around the Mediterranean region were these things called Asclepii. They're named after the deity Asclepius, right? And there's over 300 of them that we know about. We know that there are more, but they're basically faith healing facilities, right? And within these faith healing facilities, we've got tons and tons of archaeological data, letters that people wrote, castings and carvings that people donated in thanks, because they would go in and these priests who are trained in the arts would pray for them to the deity Asclepius. They would receive healing for their ailments, and then they would walk out. And this was such a common practice, and so many people believed that they had an actual mystical healing experience with their deity, that many hundreds and hundreds of them are quite literally littered with gifts, voted gifts and letters thanking the god for the healing that they were granted. But I don't think I'd be stretching to say you probably don't believe that any of these healings and miracles actually existed.
Yeah, to say that they were all healed, that is a little far fetched.
But we have the archaeological data from
Matthew,
them. We have the letters.
Yeah.
We've got the inscriptions saying that my leg was healed, saying that I wasn't able to give birth and I gave birth, saying my sight was restored. So are all these people just lying?
No, maybe they're just misinterpreting their experience.
Right. Do you see how we can apply that same logic to your religion? So the same logic you're applying to the Greek religion, we would apply to yours. We would include your religion with the religion that was dedicated to the Asclepii.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see you take prophecies and say because they were not literally fulfilled in the exact way that they were written, that therefore these were not these prophecies have been completely falsified. But
that's my favorite topic, by the way.
Oh, cool. Yeah, maybe it's just
want to get into it.
Maybe it's just the way you guys are. Sure. Maybe they're not meant to be fulfilled literally, but they transform the world in a Christocentric way. And
well, do you know why I think that they are literal?
Like a science textbook.
The reason why it's literal is because it's talking about literal events. It's saying that they're going to bring the Israelites back to their homeland. It says the population of Jerusalem and Judea is going to be restored, and their lambs will again play on the foothills of the mountains. And it says that they're going to live in peace and worship their God without any enemies attacking them again. Like, these are all very literal events. There's no reason to take them as metaphors. What does it mean when Ezekiel or Jeremiah says that I'm going to bring you back to your homeland, the land that I promised to your forefathers? I'm going to bring you back to that land, and you're going to live in that land safely and securely forever. We know what the land is.
Yeah, when you read the plain, the plain reading of the text, it says they'll all be back and restored completely as a nation. The nation exists today, but not like that prophecy says. But it's a passage it's a passage of hope. It's a passage that says their faith will carry on no matter for centuries, and it still carries on today.
I'm sorry. What does this have to do with anything? Maybe I missed it. I don't know if I missed it or not. What does this have to do with either God existing, Jesus being the Son of God, or anything that we should be convinced about?
My main point is that I think we're taking faith too literally and reading it like science and logic. But Soren Kierkegaard, a famous philosopher, said, even in the face of doubt, true faith is a test to continue to pursue the transcendence.
Andrew, what's the purpose of science? I'm sorry to cut you off from like the bullshit that you were spitting. What's the purpose of science?
Is to determine knowledge.
Well, no, I would say that it's to present a model that is most representative of reality. Is it not? Like, that's the ultimate goal of science, is to represent reality as it actually exists rather than how we want it to exist, right?
Sure.
Okay. But then it seems like requiring empirical evidence in order to believe in something would be a virtue, right? Like that would be a thing that you would want to have, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Your God does not have empirical evidence to substantiate that he definitely exists. So why is it that you want to forego, this empirical evidence that should convince people? Why is it important to forego empirical evidence to believe in a God?
I've been trying to explain it, but you kind of called it bullshit.
Well, yeah, because it is bullshit. I mean, how is it not bullshit?
Okay. Yeah.
If I were to come to you and be like, there's a pickle Rick that's going to judge you for everything that you do in your life, and you should worship the pickle Rick. Otherwise, he is going to send you to a burning brine factory in, wherever. Why should we believe in Pickle Rick versus like your God versus the Roman or Greek gods versus any other gods that we've been able to describe so far? Like what differentiates your God from all those other deities?
No, it's not one or the other. I'm just saying the way those depictions are just limited, are humans limited in their knowledge. They're just creating what they think God is in their own image. So, but when
it
you go
seems
beyond
to me
that,
like you're creating God in your own image.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Are you not are you not ascribing like the properties to God that you want God to have? Like, is that what you're doing? I feel like that's what you're doing.
I'm saying all their depictions are valid. They're just there's something deeper behind the man-made images.
Is there?
I guess I don't understand what it means. Yeah.
Sorry. If all of their depictions are valid, I'm trying to figure out what an invalid prediction would be. So, like, if I said that Doug is the supreme creator of all things, I mean, as far as I can tell, this rock here is every bit as valid as every other god on the planet. Am I holding God in my hands right now? He's got eyeballs. He's looking at you, by the way. So be careful what you say in front of him.
No, but that's being a little facetious, but it's funny. It is funny.
Well, how do you know that my revelation from Doug is invalid and the revelation from any other religion is valid?
All right.
It has to come down to, I think, like John said, it has to come down to something empirical at the end of the day.
All right. And if it has to be empirical, then it's not true faith. I think it's not irrational or rational. It's all rational. I think it's impossible to explain.
Let me get this straight, Andrew.
Of faith.
Right. Let me get this straight. in order to believe in God, you have to forego empirical evidence that a God exists and therefore rely on the intuition that you personally have, that your personal version of God exists, instead of being able to like actually verify that it actually does exist. You just sort of lead with your feelings about it.
Yeah, it's a mystical journey.
No, that's not the correct answer.
No, that's not. So the logical trap that you found yourself in is that we can validate truth claims by our intuitions, and my intuitions are that no God exists. So then my intuition is equally as valid as yours. So then by the same logic, your God can't exist.
I agree to disagree. All right.
All right. Can we agree to disagree on gravity? Like, are we agreeing to disagree on gravity too? Or is it just like whether or not a magical wizard exists in a celestial realm that is on a different plane of existence than ours? Like, is that what we're agreeing to disagree on? Or is it?
No, because I use science to say certain things in the Bible are not literally true. Like the age of the earth, I know it's not 6,000 years old. So that can be verifiably proven. But there's many other things in the Bible that are mystical in nature that cannot be proven or disproven. And so that's what? You can find that in all religions, even Doug the Rock religion.
Praise Doug.
What? Praise Doug.
What?
What do you think can or can't be proven? Like in your particular faith, which I'm guessing is Christianity, right? Like you worship Jesus and Yahweh.
Yeah, that's the language I choose to use because it makes sense to me. But it's just language on the surface.
Okay, what can and can't be proven or disproven in your faith?
Life after death. Life after death. Because some religions call it reincarnation. So, we call it resurrection. Some call it going to, like, your soul being a soulless entity going to heaven.
Okay.
So
we do need to move on.
True, but
Andrew, we do need to move on here in a second. But it kind of seems to me like if reincarnation was a thing, then we could empirically prove that reincarnation was a thing, and that should be part of your religious worldview. But you're saying that like that is something that cannot be proven or disproven. What value then does that really afford us? Like, what value does that provide to us if it cannot be proven or disproven? It's unprovable, or not disprovable. What's the difference in me just claiming that, we don't reincarnate, we really transport our souls to a different plane of existence somewhere billions and billions of light years away, and we just simply don't know about it? But trust me, bro, it's real. Like, what's the difference in those claims?
It won't make sense in the natural. You got to have a mystical experience to truly.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. If it doesn't make sense in reality, then it's just not going to make sense whatsoever. But I definitely appreciate you calling in. Justin, do you have any final thoughts here?
No, I don't think so. But I appreciate you talking to us, Andrew.
Likewise. Have a good one, gentlemen. Take care.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. See ya. All righty. Well, that was an interesting first call for tonight.
Hey there, Eric. Noting that anyone watching that clip makes atrociously poor life decisions, where should they send their protection money to prevent further damage?
All protection money should be sent to patreon.com/calltheline, or else we will break your kneecaps.
Okay, we can't say that. I think we can't say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hit like and subscribe.